It's a best of 19 with Dan Dawson and Paul Nicholson.
Two all-time greats fighting it out on stage in the final game of this afternoon's session. The marquee event for any darts event across the world. Michael van Gerwen, the best player in the world #1, against Gary Anderson, the man he classes as his main rival. These two have fought it out in no fewer than 10 TV finals before now. We could have an 11th this weekend, because the way this tournament works, you can be in the same group and meet in the final. It happened last year, of course, between Gary Anderson and Mensur Suljovic. In darting terms, this is Ali Frazier, Federer Nadal, or as Phil Taylor might have termed it, Roy Keane versus Jason McAteer. But I did struggle to understand what Phil was on about on occasion. And Gary has the darts in this one.
45.
The El Clasico of darts, Dan. What a way to finish the afternoon.
93.
Been a good afternoon so far. Darryl Gurney doing his job. Yeah, and that's important. So there are a number of things you've got to bear in mind. Van Gerwen knows he only needs to win one leg to guarantee his spot in the semi-finals. That's it. One leg, and he's going to go through.
19.
However, if he loses, and lots of visits like that, and there's a chance, brought a smile to Gary's face, if he loses by 10 legs to 7 or a bigger leg difference, then Gary Anderson would oust him at the top of the group. Now, there is a chance that Gary Anderson and Darryl Gurney could go through. But that needs to be 10-0. Can't see that happening. Just can't. It is possible, of course. Anything's possible. But we've seen Michael van Gerwen lose to 0 before, but I don't think I've seen him beaten 10-0. I've seen him beaten 6-0. Peter Wright did it in a Euro Tour final. Ian White did it on the European Tour last year. So essentially, Van Gerwen gets one leg. He's into the next phase. But Gary Anderson needs to win. Any kind of win and he's through. Another treble 20. Leaves double top. A barnstormer from Anderson to start things off. He's going to like that start of the game. Have a look at his flight stand to see that double top go in. You can see yesterday he used 2 different flights. He used the smaller ones in the afternoon, bigger ones at night time. He's stuck with the bigger ones. Obviously, he plays better with those.
140.
Definitely effective on that 160 checkout. The biggest checkout we've seen this week so far. He gazumps the Gurney 158.
140.
These two unquestionably all-time greats of the game. Gary Anderson has 45
98.
PDC titles. 7 of them this year. And 2 of those big ones, the UK Open and the World Match Play. This could be turning into Gary Anderson's best year in professional darts.
167.
Van Gerwen looked to gazump Anderson with a 167, unsuccessfully though. The crowd will be off their chairs if he gets this 136. He needs 260s again. Just skews off into the treble 1. He fancied that.
120.
Does leave the double. Van Gerwen's under pressure for 67. 18 for double 16.
35.
A slip. Punished. 2-0 Gary Anderson. He still hasn't got that leg he needs, you know. He hasn't, and he's pulled his socks up. That's usually a sign, isn't it, that he's got to actually do that. He's got to pull his socks up in the game.
135.
Yeah, metaphorically and literally pulling his socks up, MVG.
100.
Gary's in the 60 again. He's into play. There we go. Look at the back of the stage. He does that now and again, and I think it's some sort of mental thing. When he needs to do it in the game, he does the actual practical thing. Well, look, if you've won £6.2 million in prize money from your darting career, you would have thought you would have bought something with slightly better elastic. But hey-ho.
With that kind of money, you should be able to afford the Back to the Future trainers that pulled the socks up for you.
92. Area 167.
Well, 2 visits for this.
60.
Now, Anderson may be classed as MVG's main rival,
95.
despite being number 4 in the world. But he does pick and choose his tournaments, doesn't play as much as some of the other players, which is why he's not up in the number 2 spot.
I'm surprised Gary didn't go for the treble 16 there for double top. Hasn't got a shot, but Michael has a double 10. Inside. Gets the shot. What a deflection that is. Perfect, in off the post. And he's got the leg he needs. He's definitely through to the semi-finals, Van Gerwen.
You will be seeing the world number 1 tonight on the BBC, looking to claim
82.
the Champions League of Darts title, the one big TV title in PDC darts that he has not yet
60.
claimed. That confirms it.
That's one scenario out the way, Dan.
58.
We should do a Foo Fighters and go done onto the next one. Gary just wants to win this
140.
game.
Between these two, they hold all the big TV titles apart from the World
95.
Championship. Rob Cross has got that. The World Grand Prix, Darryl Gurney's got that. And this, that Mensur Suljovic currently holds. But how
140.
much longer will he hold it for? He could defend his title. We know that Mensur is in the semi-finals. And as group winner of the other group, he plays
96.
whoever
Area
finishes
161.
second in this group.
Battle of the big finishes. And Anderson always goes for treble 19 on 161.
57. I go 107.
No which way Van Gerwen's going on this. He's low on the first dart. He's looking to leave double 18.
96.
Can't do so. So Anderson
104.
will think he should have been a bit closer to the finish line than this. He needs to find a way through to that treble 20. Can't bend it around.
60.
So this 74 is key to get back in this match for Van Gerwen. This is to hold double 16.
It's on the ball.
That's beautiful.
That's
the way to do it. That's as clinical as Suljovic has been in this tournament so far in his doubles. Anderson hasn't missed a double yet. Van Gerwen has. But Suljovic, potentially, in the semi-finals, could be the only guy with a 100% record.
It is very possible. These two do tend to bring the best out of each other. They've met a number of times this year. Once in the Premier League, they both averaged 110. The last knockout tie that Gary Anderson won against Van Gerwen was in Dubai on the World Series. In a final, they averaged 110. Again, the pair of them outside in the desert in boiling hot conditions.
100.
Something happens when these two play each other. There's a lot of respect between them. They're good mates, but they do throw the kitchen sink at each other.
36.
Needs this again. Another 60. Gets it. Double 8. Now the 1-2-4 is a slightly easier shot. Needs treble 18 for the ball. Oh, and he graces the wire.
A fraction away from taking out 304 points in 6 darts, and Anderson once again punishes on double 8, 3-2 to the Flying Scotsman as this game barrels along and the averages start to climb.
Well, I'm not going to say it, Dan. There's a little. There's a number next to his name.
Don't say it.
I haven't said it. I haven't said it.
Don't say it, Paul. You've said it.
I did say it.
You've got a second chance.
96.
Anderson, man who's already hit a TV9 darter this year. He did it at the World Match Play when he went on and claimed the title. And he's on the 9 again.
I'm not saying that. He's going to be under pressure just to win the leg.
177.
Needs it to win the leg.
41.
Yes. No. Oh, Gary was closer than his last 70 attempt. He's going to lose the leg.
4 perfect visits in this leg.
2 misses means that Anderson can open up that 2-leg advantage. We told you this would be special. It is not disappointing.
Gary Anderson. 7 legs, Gary to throw first. Game on.
Whatever beverage you guys have got at home, make sure that when Gary's got 2 180s in the bag, keep it away from you, because you might be throwing it in the air.
43.
There may be more opportunities for 9 darters in this game. Not the biggest averages they've ever served us. But for some reason, you're absolutely right, Dan. When these two come together, it's like that movie Hancock. Try and keep them apart,
59.
everything's placid. Put them together and something is just colossal.
Well, you only have to look at the numbers. Van Gerwen, every
96.
time he has met Anderson this year, and this is their 7th meeting, he has averaged over 100. There's been 106 in there, 111, 110.
85.
It's a good pace for the pair of them. They don't mess around. They are racing to the oche and just ploughing through visit after visit after visit. Once they find their rhythm, these two, expect greatness. And this is Michael Van Gerwen's favourite checkout. He won the Premier League for the first time, taking this out against Phil Taylor.
Good marker if he gets the treble 19, and he can't. Ironically,
60.
that dart that he put in the bullseye, or the outer bullseye there, was very close to where he put that 25 on the Premier League win. He's going to need a 72 checkout, which won him his first world title. 2 16s for tops. He did this to win a world title, but he hasn't done it to win the 7th leg. And Gary's waiting on tops to get a 5-2 lead.
Well, even that has surprised Gary Anderson. Oh, see it. Well, I can only assume that first dart was the worst dart he's thrown in many, many months, and it just put him off for the rest of the visit. But he is going to get another go.
No score.
Who'd have thunk it? Misses bring drama, but hits bring you legs. 5-2 Anderson. And this Brighton crowd are on their feet for the Scotsman.
140.
Feeling nervous, super chin. Gary Anderson wins this. You are out of the Champions League. And Gary Anderson is doing everything he can to win this one.
Every bit of research we've done about these guys is on hold right now.
31.
And that's because he's back in the 60. Again! We have another shot at it! And he fancies it! He wants to be Santa Claus in Brighton!
140.
Just 2 legs ago, he went 7 darts into the perfect leg. He can't reach 7 this time around. It is a 1, Gary.
Never seen so many people in world darts in one weekend have attempts at 9 darts.
Like a 190.
Now, he could lose the leg again. And I'm amazed that Van Gerwen didn't go 2 20s for ball.
83.
Double 16 for 6-2. Gary Anderson is rampant in Brighton.
12 months ago, Van Gerwen was involved in a match with Phil Taylor where he was on the end of it, really. Phil played exemplary darts. Van Gerwen suffered a defeat that day. Is he going to be on the end of a defeat here?
Well, of the 6 times they've met prior to today, this year, Van Gerwen has only lost 1. Again, he averaged 100, but he was beaten in the Premier League.
91.
This has a similar feel. They were both averaging around these kind of numbers, around the 100 mark. But so often in these games, we know these guys can pile in the big scores. It's about the odd miss. And Van Gerwen has been missing. He's 2 out of 11 on his checkouts.
51.
It's not happening for Michael right now. And Gary will be licking his chops, especially with a first start like that.
138.
That will do.
170.
We haven't seen a 170 this week, and we're not going to see one now. That 160 checkout is the biggest we've seen from Anderson at the start of the match.
72.
But he's got the 72 this time. It's going to be tops for 7-2.
52.
Just under. Van Gerwen
112.
languished on a shot where he'll only get one shot at a double. What will the shot be? It will be double 8. And it's there. Unconventional, but he got it.
Sounds like it's Michael to throw first. Game on.
And potentially a tide turner, because a hold of throw for MVG here would see him go into the break 6-4 down.
40.
And with the explosive power of these two legs isn't much.
It isn't. The tight game that they had before Gary was a world champion, it was that game with Van Gerwen and Anderson that sparked Anderson into life. He said he should have won that game to knock Van Gerwen out of the tournament. Michael went on to win the title. Gary then said, I'm going to play properly from now on. He got revenge, and then all of a sudden he was world champion the next 2 years.
Yeah, that defeat to Michael van Gerwen left Gary Anderson raging. He stormed out of Alexandra Palace in North London, the venue for the World Championship.
85.
And it sparked something in him. After 2 relatively quiet years, he produced the most successful year of his PDC career. 9 titles, including the World Championship. This year could be even better for Gary Anderson. The match play, the UK Open, 5 more titles already, and all gearing up to a whole host of big tournaments at the back end of the year. But bullseye for MVG! Very nearly produces the biggest check out of the weekend.
76 for Gary, and he needs double 8. He's got it! An MVG whiz!
He also knows if he can win by 10-7 or better, he will top the group and play Peter Wright, against whom he has a very good record, and avoid having to play Mensur Suljovic, against whom his record is not quite as good.
Well, I was tipping at the start of the day an MVG Suljovic final. It could well be a Suljovic MVG semi-final.
Gary Anderson, 5 maximums.
100.
Some of the Brighton and Hove Albion footballers in. Just down the road. Didn't go well for him yesterday, but what better way to get over a defeat to Spurs?
Van Gerwen has hit the 171 to leave the 170. He might not get a shot. He might not get a shot. He does get a shot, but by the finest of whiskers. Not going to get a shot at the bullseye. Gary is going to inch closer to that mark of topping the group if he takes out 25. 9 for double 8. He's loving double 8 in this tournament. He usually goes 1 double 12 or 17 double 4. He's using the board.
This is one of the things that has changed in Gary Anderson's game over perhaps the last year, 18 months. It always used to be double top, double 12. They were his go-to doubles. Now he's happy leaving double 16, double 8. And sometimes you have to, but now he just feels freedom to leave what he wants. And in this kind of mood, you're expecting him to pin it. He is 50% on his doubles. Twice as good as Michael van Gerwen right now, and that is why he leads by 5 legs and is in danger of knocking Van Gerwen off the top of Group A and forcing him to play the unbeaten Champions League monster that is at Mensur Suljovic.
Wasn't it Gary that came out and said this week that the air of invincibility around Van Gerwen has gone? Well, he stood up and said the words. Now he's trying to prove that it's true.
174.
The air of invincibility may be waning a touch, but Michael van Gerwen is not a man to underestimate.
I do require 16.
Double 8. Double 4.
Yeah, from the top leg.
Job done.
Gap cut. First. Game on.
Interesting reaction from Michael there when he hit that double 4. It was a very good dart. I thought it was a very good dart. He used the marker perfectly.
44.
He just flicked his eyebrows up and scratched his left ear. No celebration, no aggression. Maybe trying to conserve a bit of energy for later, but does Michael want to win that group? Does he want to play Suljovic? Maybe he's got a preference.
58.
But I know he loves to beat Gary. They've had so many great games. He doesn't want to lose to Gary at any point, whether it's for 50 grand or a packet of crisps.
Well, it's only his third 180, Van Gerwen, but he has had a perfect visit in each of the last 3 legs, a 171 and a 174. He has come out after the break
84.
with a pretty impressive focus. The average is almost bang on 100 for the pair of them. Top level stuff, as it always is with these two.
139. Michael Gerwen, 100.
Tops. Coming in, it's got loads of room! Oh, that was so much easier to hit it than miss it. There was a fence at the top wire. All he's got to do is hit the dart and just gather it in.
Well, when you're playing Michael Van Gerwen, it does not matter what lead you build up. You are never, ever safe. Because he can go into overdrive. He can reel off legs. 11 darter, 12 darter, 11, 12, 13. And within moments, you find that healthy cushion that you had is wafer thin or obliterated entirely.
99.
There'll be a lot of chatter out there from people asking,
58.
what do you do in this situation? Do you conserve energy for later? Do you go gung-ho right now?
74.
Dart players just go gung-ho all the time. We know that about Sulevic. Look what he did to Whitlock earlier. Fabulous stuff from Mensur Sulevic. He wants all of his prospective rivals to knock 7 bells out of each other and waste energy.
60.
He didn't use up a lot of his fuel tank earlier on.
Van Gerwen leaves the biggest finish in the game once again. He is the most likely player in the world of darts to take this out. He takes it out on a regular basis. And he may well take it out now. But it won't happen. Leaves himself double 18 now.
150.
Gary's not going to go 3 bulls, we know that. And you can see from the grimace on his face that he fancied this.
100. Michael Gerwen, 36.
Double 18 for Van Gerwen. Perfect guide. Uses it. His doubles have been so good since the break.
15 leg is Gary to throw first. Game on.
Now it's 8-6.
7-3 up. Now it's only 8-6. Is Anderson feeling the pressure? Doesn't look like it.
93.
Where will dart 4 go? 5.
140.
Should have stopped counting. The 3.
He's gone 5 darts into the 9, 6 darts into the 9, and 7 darts into the 9. In this game, not in this weekend or this month, in this match.
57.
Maybe Van Gerwen is throwing the white flag in this leg. He's miles behind. And Gary
137.
has had a brilliant leg, leaving 44 after 9 darts.
Well, this is what you have to do. When Van Gerwen gets on the charge, as it looked he was doing, you have to produce an 11 or 12 darter to stop him in his tracks. Is this one? Yes, it is.
Well, earlier on, Dave Chisnell left double 8, was it? After 9 darts and didn't get a shot. And that was to the credit of Daryl Gurney. But ultimately, if Dave wanted to win that leg, he had to hit a 9 darter. But now it's 1 leg away for Anderson, and prospectively winning the group.
10-7 or better is good enough for Gary Anderson to win the group and set up a semi-final with Peter Snakebite Wright,
140.
the man whom he partnered with for the World Cup of Darts for Scotland. Although they have something of a checkered history.
42.
Is it as checkered as his sleeve?
I'd say similar.
91.
He's left it again. And I'll tell you what, Gary's not going to leave a finish. He can't from 376. Van Gerwen goes for this. If the first 2 in the treble 20, he goes for this.
How many times has he left it now? 3 or 4?
90.
At least 4 by my count. Which is no real surprise. He is a showman.
59.
He wants to do this sort of stuff for the fans.
Tops, maybe? No. Maybe just one of them. at the end. One dart for Tops. Gets it right in the corner. That's a perfect penalty. Bottom left. Now it's 9-7. Hold on to your hats, folks.
Win this leg, win the group, Gary Anderson.
83.
If you don't, things get a little bit hairy because it's very, very close. And even winning the match and getting out of the group is not a given.
The permutations are right now. And Gary has gone off the boil. He's been getting a bit miffed the last couple of legs.
96.
And Van Gerwen is just focused right now. Looking to put in one of those characteristic bursts. He's doing the right thing right now, and Gary's found a really good second dart, but is it enough?
Van Gerwen has stolen the darts. He has the advantage in this leg, but he's not making it count at all. Waves it away.
Great darts from Gary Anderson. Van Gerwen will be loving a 140 or 180 here. Gets the lot. Perfectly timed. And Anderson needs one of the hardest finishes in that range, and he's not going to get it. Van Gerwen is looking like he's going to get to that 8th leg.
Michael Van Gerwen tops the group. That we know. He will face Peter Wright in the semi-finals tonight. The question is, will Gary Anderson be going through to the semi-finals as well? He has to win one more leg. Van Gerwen only needs 2.
If Gary does win,
100.
he will play his nemesis. The gentle but ungentle Mensah Suljovic, the killer that is Mensah Suljovic on the dartboard. That's better from Gary. It's a perfect first start. Gets a second 60, and he needed that to stay in the leg.
$133.
A single 19 would have left 170. As it is, he leaves the 132. I told you earlier, it's his favourite finish in the game. Bullseye to start. Treble 19. Can he find the ball from there?
Oh, he's banking on Gary not hitting the 161. Oh, I can't believe my eyes. He nearly had a shot at the bull to basically say to Van Gerwen, don't dare do that to me again. Double 8. It's 9-all. And we love a long, tight contest between these two. It's going all the way to the very last leg. What's going to happen? Daryl Gurney, hang on to your chin and your hat.
One hold of throw for Gary Anderson puts him in the semi-finals. He has only won 2 legs since the break. Most players would have been dead and buried at 7-3 down to Gary Anderson, but you are never safe against this man, MVG.
Can't believe what I'm witnessing. I thought Gary had this. I really did. But Van Gerwen is showing why he's the world #1 and why he's such a demon on the dartboard.
She cannot watch. I cannot stop.
It's a horrible feeling knowing you've hit the wall.
134.
When you hit the wall so close to the finish, it's a terrible feeling. And Gary cannot leave a finish. A lot of the darts have been lurched at, but Van Gerwen's only 134 away from winning this one.
Gary Anderson's hopes in the Champions League of darts hang by a thread. The man who made the final last year is relying on the best player in the world missing match darts. He was 7-3 up in this one. And the world's best player has turned this on its head. Double 8. Oh, 2 missed, and could there be an escape clause for the Flying Scotsman?
Treble 20 for Tops, and he looks really angry. Where's he going? He's got a double 10. Oh, he's got it! What an end to an incredible game of darts! Oh boy, I hope you all enjoyed that, because I know I did. 10-9 to Gary Anderson.